Well, good day, sisters and brothers, and welcome to our reflection for today. It is the memorial of Our Lady of Sorrows. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus' father and mother were amazed at what was said about him. And Simeon blessed them and said to Mary, his mother, "Behold, this child is destined for the fall and rise of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be contradicted. And you yourself a sword will pierce, so that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed." The Gospel of the Lord. So today we celebrate the memorial of Our Lady of Sorrows. And I was thinking, it really isn't, I've never been a mom before, but I know it's not easy work to be a mom. I remember back when I was in high school and I would go out on a Friday night with my friends, and my mom, she would not go to sleep until I was safely back home at the house. I said to her one time, "Mom, why don't you just go to bed?" She said, I can't sleep when you're out there. I'm worrying about you." This morning I was mentioning that to Miss Charlotte Gale, Bishop Nicasio's secretary, and she's got a couple girls who are teenagers as well, and she said, "Father, it's the same thing. When my girls go out, I know I'm going to be in a bad mood the next day because I'm up late worrying about them, and I'm not going to fall asleep until they get home." I'm not a mom myself. I don't know how it is, but I'm sure those of you who are moms know exactly how it is. You remember those times maybe when your child was sick with a fever, and you were worried, are they going to be okay? You remember the times when they were struggling with something in school, and you were just nervous and trying to help them as best you could. I've seen some moms on social media posting these days about the virtual classes and how stressful that is. Somebody put a meme on Facebook. Let me see if I can find it here. It said, "The mother's homework prayer. Please grant me the serenity, Lord, to accept the homework assignment I cannot change, the courage to help my child complete it as I can, and the strength to finish it without either of us ending up in a body bag." It's hard work to be a mom. I think doubly so in this time of COVID. Well, today we celebrate the memorial of Our Lady of Sorrows. We celebrate our good mother in heaven, Mary. And we remember the fact that she went through those exact same things as a mom. There were moments in her life when she felt the intense pain of loving Jesus, her son. The word that we use in the Bible for love, the Greek word that you find in the New Testament, is agape. And it's a special word. It was not a common word that the ancient Greeks used. They used the word eros to mean romantic love, erotic love. They used the word philia to mean the love of friends, friendship. They used the word styrge to mean sort of empathy, when your heart goes out for someone and you want the best for them. But this word agape, the word that is used every time we see the word love come up in the New Testament, God is love. Agape means love that seeks nothing in return, love that is unconditional, love that just pours itself out again and again and doesn't want anything back. That's the love that God has for us, his beloved sons and daughters. And we see a taste of that love, I think, anytime we look at a mom caring for her child. They just give themselves completely in love to their child. When their child is suffering, they are right there suffering with their child. Well, today we celebrate the fact that our Mother Mary went through those same things with Jesus, her son. There are 7 moments traditionally that we talk about, 7 sorrows that Mary experienced. The first sorrow was the prophecy of Simeon. That was the gospel we just heard. Remember when Mary and Joseph took the baby Jesus to the temple to be presented at the temple? Priest Simeon said to Mary, "And you yourself a sword will pierce." The priest is prophesying the agony and suffering that Jesus, Mary's son, will endure. I think every mom has probably had an experience like that at some level when you look down at your child, newborn child, and you're filled with joy and happiness, but you also think, what will this child become? What kind of challenges in life and struggles will this child face? Mary went through the same thing when Jesus was just a baby. The second sorrow is the flight to Egypt. That was a really traumatic and awful experience, I'm sure, for Mary and Joseph. They fled for their lives. They were refugees in a foreign land. Everything was turned upside down. The third sorrow, the search for the child, Jesus, in the Temple of Jerusalem. Remember when Mary and Joseph lost Jesus at age 12 years old. I don't know if you've ever lost a child briefly. I got lost in a supermarket when I was a little kid, 5 or 6 years old. And when my mom found me, she was worried sick. Well, Mary went through the same thing with Jesus. Fourth sorrow, Mary meets Jesus on his way to the cross. She was there as Jesus carried the cross. Mary's heart was just utterly broken in two on that day to see her beloved son in such pain and such agony and not to be able to do anything about it except to walk with him and pray for him and suffer with him, to take some of his suffering into her own heart. The fifth sorrow, standing at the foot of the cross. The sixth sorrow, the crucifixion and descent from the cross. And the seventh sorrow, assisting at the burial of Christ. Mary bearing her own son, the hardest thing a mom can ever do, bury their own child. And we've had several parishioners at Martin's over the years who've had to do that. And they say you just don't ever get over it. Your heart is always, there's always a big hole in your heart from that moment onward. So on this feast, sisters and brothers, we celebrate the fact that Mary had these moments of real suffering with her own son, and therefore she is a wonderful person to turn to in our own sufferings, especially for us moms. She knows what it's like. She's been there. This year, when we're all suffering from pandemic and the world seems like it's been turned upside down and all of our hearts are a little bit heavy at times, why not turn once again to our good Mother Mary? Ask her to help us carry some of these burdens, and she will be glad to do it. That's what moms do, and that's what the greatest mom in heaven does. I want to close now with a short prayer written by a young mom. Her name is Cameron Bellum, and she's got a couple young kids of herself. She lives in Seattle, Washington. It's a beautiful prayer for this feast day. Our Lady of Sorrows, wrap us in your mantle of tears. Let us reach out and touch the 7 swords in your heart as we offer to God the ones in our own. How can we measure the sharpness of Simeon's prophecy or the stab of panic in losing Jesus in the temple? How can we grasp the agony of meeting Jesus carrying his cross, or deeper still, the desolation of laying him in the tomb? In our suffering, may we find comfort in yours. For what sorrow is there that cannot be held by a mother who sees her child betrayed, mocked, humiliated, killed? And what strength can be greater than that of a mother who knows of all the grief to come and chooses to love wholeheartedly still? Mother of Christ, Mother of us all, carry us through our mourning, carry us through to hope. For sorrow, yes, is unto death, but death is unto life. Amen.